You hear me?
So yeah, pretty much I'm here to talk about an ancient word that been a part of male society for a long time. We've been practicing this and doing and saying this word. It's like it protects us. This portion of this video is probably for the female listeners. If I got any female watchers out there, but y'all got this way of trying to attempt to discredit male society, and since society been established, since primitive society, all the way up to vast cities, since the beginning of time, from when men started, when groups of people started coming together to formulate, we had this word that we would say, and it's like a salute to each man. We have it, and we all know it. We all say it, you know, and that's the. But I hit though. It sounds like a little bit of French, Spanish, Italian, Arabic, different African culture words. But I hit though. But I hit though is a way men salute each other in a way, and it's lost on a lot of female society when they say things and they try to discredit us. Like, you hear women say, "He was broke," but I hit though. We'll say, "But I hit though." Oh, he has a small penis, but I hit though. Oh, he's a homosexual. He likes gay stuff. I touched him in his butt, licked his ass. But I hit though. But I hit though. Women have to understand that once you give the men the power to say, "But I hit though," you have lost all power to discredit that man within male society. Unfortunate. So I try to teach this even to my daughters, especially them and their friends as they went off to college. I have a 21-year-old, I have a 19-year-old, and my son, he's 17. I might post a picture of them. I love my children dearly, but I try to keep these 100% with them and give them all the facts, all the information they need in order to thrive in society. And you have to protect your daughters, you have to protect the women in your life, your nieces, your aunties, your mama, and all the women in your life. They should understand, you can't discredit that man if he can say, "But I hit them," And let me slow that word down for a lot of people that's watching and not really fully understand. And that word is actually a sentence that's, "But I hit though." If that man can say that, you can't discredit him. I don't care what he working with. Once you cross that line, what he bought you, he bought me this. He spent cars and flew out on trips. He's a trick, whatever he is. Once he can shout, "But I hit though," "But I hit though" is the one word that cancels out any attempts to discredit that man. Women pay attention. Ladies pay attention to that. That kind of brings me into the next topic that I have, which is intimacy, sex. I talk to my daughters, my kids about the birds and the bees, and I try to tell them about. I'm not a religious person, a deity person, or whatever that people get involved with. I don't have a word or way that I define my understanding. I don't say belief. I have an understanding. Belief is something unique to you that may or may not be true. It's your belief. Me, I have an understand. I understand things. So, as far as like sex before marriage, birds and the bees type conversation and talk, I try to talk to them in such a way that they'll understand the reality of things. Yes, I understand that the value of a woman per partner lessens her value. That I understand, you know. So you just can't. I'm not saying go be free out here and just give it away. No, you want to find closeness with a person. You want to be trusting with that person, and you want to go forward with this trust and this closeness within the safeties and confines of a relationship, and explore each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying just give it away, or you know, if you have a value or desire for relationship long term, or if you want to put get the government involved, something like a something like a something like a marriage, something on paperwork, a union of some sort, that's fine. You get a lot more value the more you hold that back from happening in the beginning. Not to say a man won't just go through all that just to land that plane and still exit up out of there. That very well may happen. So, yeah, you don't want to go out here and you meet a guy tonight, tell her to talk to my daughters and all of these out there, and then you have sex with them an hour later or within that night. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when I say sex before marriage, I'm talking about you in a relationship. This is a committed relationship, you and this person. Yes, you want to test the goods out. Unfortunately, there's some people out there with some medical anomalies. You know, you might find yourself with a guy working with what can only be described as a monster. You know what I'm saying? And or the flip side of that, you might be with a guy that's insufficient in that department. Pleasure's out the door. You can't be satisfied with any one of those conditions on each end. You're trying to find that Goldilocks zone. So you got to see the goods. Same thing with my son with young males. You want to definitely be able to, because just the same as some women out there with some medical anomalies. She might have a whole hallway you can throw your whole leg in there. You know what I'm saying? Or she might be too tight. I'd have been down there. I'd have been down that road. I ain't working with all that. All that acting you doing, or you not acting. Okay, but it's you need to go see a doctor. That shit just is not working. So, you know, I watching them pornos. I know what I ain't working with that. So don't be all that screaming and pull back and push back and all that. You're doing too much. So it's some people out there, when you get into these relationships and you start learning each other, I'm a firm believer in that you need to see what you finna purchase and have an experience of that. You know, I'm a firm believer in, before you marry anybody, you should live together for 2 years, especially if you're young. Maybe if at my age it's different, but you should at least live with that person for 2 years, because you gotta have the best separate life. They live in this apartment. You don't really know a person until you live with them. This could be your person. You live with that person, and then that person is like, you with a whole totally different person. This person, you ain't never even seen this person till you wake up, or you see how they go to bed, and they don't wash their behind before they get in bed, or they leave dishes in the sink, or they don't believe in cleaning up as they go, and you may have these customs, they don't believe in waking up, making up the bed, or they might do all those things, and you feel like that's too much. We can do that at the end of the week, we can do that tomorrow, and so, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. You're gonna learn a person's financial settings and how they financially handle business, living with a person. You're gonna learn how a person, if you into the religious thing, what their religious thing is. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see a lot of stuff, and that starts with, of course, staying with somebody to experience them staying with them in a more full capacity to learn who that person is. You know, so yeah, it's important to have these spaces where you can understand and see this person and experience this person at all levels before you say, okay, I want to invest in this person and link my credit or my life to this person. Or if you're on the spiritual side, I want to become spiritually linked to this individual, or physically linked, or our energies is going to be linked. You want to make sure you get that in order, and see if that's some physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, psychological compatibility. And, you know, all that type of stuff is important, you know? So, which bring me to my next topic. You know what I'm saying? Can I help you? Yes, I'm in the middle of making something, and you kind of like hating on it, you know, of my creative process. Do you want me to turn the camera on you? Huh? Just go on down the street, be a hater down the street, okay? Be a hater on that side. You know, when I do something with myself with this, don't text me. Don't get in my inbox. Which brings me to my other topic, which is in one of my other videos I was talking about my weight transformation, and during that time I started doing my weight transformation in my late 30s, early 40s. I started experiencing hair loss. Man, I had a beautiful head of hair. Beautiful head of hair. I'm gonna insert some pictures. Beautiful head of hair. And I had the last hairstyle that I had locks. And what I was noticing was every time I get a retwist, I was losing up here. It was becoming more and more space. Now the fresh twist up looked nice, but I was noticing, and then people who, because I'm an S talker, I like to talk a lot of S. So I got a few people who talk S, and they'll pull me to the side like, hey bro, this ain't looking right. You gotta let that go. You know, I be seeing people now that if I knew them, if I had a relationship with them, I would tell them, I put them aside, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. I get it. Your locks is to your hip. You got the wicks. You trying to wick it? No, it's over. Finito. It's time to cut. Just so. Didn't ever think I had a gray hair for the bald head, but the one thing I noticed, and the reason why I brought my weight up, is I got this foreskin head thing going, where my head, the back of it, I got this. So I would always make fun of those guys, and here it is. I'm one of them guys. I always thought like real heavy set or fat guys had that. I don't know if smaller or skinny dudes got that in the bald head community. If anybody out there know it, a smaller guy or a skinnier guy that still got this extra head skin. I don't know if it's just because I lost weight, but I see fat guys with it. I don't know if it's just because it's a loose skin, but it's tight up here. But it's just back here. I don't know what that is. I don't know if y'all got a good look at it. I might take a picture and insert a picture of it, how it look. Man, I just, that part bothered me. And you know, whenever we playing the dozens and you know, everybody be cooking each other, people bring that up. Now, I'm quiet. I don't know what to say. You know, I'm in my feelings low key. But you know, you can't get in your feelings when y'all, you know, talking mess to each other. I think I'm out of time. Yeah, I'm out of time for topics. I had another topic, but I add that to something else. Like, share, and subscribe. You hear me?